You gotta love it when you have a topic and you type it in and it says, "Will Vegas ever be the same?" And then you notice that Say Hi to Matthew did the exact same topic like hours ago, and I'm like, oh, well, that's okay. I'm gonna say, should Vegas ever be the same? And then we avoided all copyright litigation. I don't think that would have ever happened. How's it going, everybody? I'm Steven. I am a Vegas blogger, and I am going to need a night off eventually, just so you guys know. 25 days in a row, but I feel like if I do that, because everybody says it's the nicest things to me, and I don't want to let anybody down, so I like to be old reliable. You know how that is. Diet Mountain Dew. The elixir of the mountain people with bad teeth. I'm just kidding if you like Diet Mountain Dew, but I'm sure we've all heard that stereotype before. And it is what it is. Hatless in Vegas. Oh, I got my haircut, so I can wear a hat. You know how that goes. You get a haircut, you don't wear a hat. And then you show off the haircut that your wife gave you. Here we go again, Johnny Yuma. And here we go again. Hi from Virginia. Hi from Michigan. Hi from Arizona. Brianna is in the house. But your name is Andrew, so I'm completely confused. Hi guys, how you doing? Wow, Punky Power's here. Guys, thank you 165 times to Mr. Classic TV 1980. Pally Up Washington is here, guys. That's all good. Yep. Diet Mountain Dew in a soup container. Now in Canada, what you do is you put Diet Mountain Dew outside your house on the snow, and then you walk up to your friend and say, "Hey, I dare you to eat that yellow snow. I bet you $20." And he goes, "No, I'll pay you $20 if you eat it." And then you eat the yellow snow, but it's really just Mountain Dew, and you make a cool $20. Literally a cool $20 because it's cold in Canada when there's snow on the ground. Slot Cat's first time watching. Thank you for being here, guys. I appreciate it. Thank you so much, guys. This is really cool. I didn't know you could live stream on YouTube. I'm just kidding. I've done a few of these in the last few days. Vegas and cruise ships finished for a couple of years, John says. You know, that's the thing. Yeah, everything is going downhill. Nothing's ever going to be the same. You know what? It is never going to be the same. And you shouldn't want it to be the same. Because if it were to go back to the way it was, then we'd all be caught up in exactly the same problem that we're in eventually. And that's the point, right? We don't want to live like this any longer, but we have no choice for a while. And I'm happy to say here in Vegas, the curbside stuff is happening. Went past a Michael's store today out at Arroyo Crossing, which is the 215 in Tropicana. And hey, look at that. You could get yourself some Michael's curbside. So that's a craft store if you don't know. Vegas closing has been a blessing. I could care less to go back, but hope it opens soon for the economy, Army Joe says. There you go. And nothing is going to be the same. And nothing should be the same. Nothing should be the same. Hey, Steve, looking good out on the 411. Big Vegas fan Nick says, there's Connie. Connie's here, of course. And, nothing's the same. People are getting new jobs. People are doing new things. If you guys emailed me about masks, I'm going to do a second round of replies. Be patient with me. The wife is feeling better because she's making 2 masks. One that's very heavy duty, 3 layers where you can put something in it, and the other one is lighter weight for the summer coming up. She feels better giving 2 masks for the price of what I was charging for the one. Brianna is here. Brianna's in the house. Hello from Vancouver Island. You know how in America it says this land is your land, this land is my land? Well, in Canada they have the same thing, and it says to Vancouver Island. There you go. Yes, well, it is what it is. And you know what? You guys are great for watching, and thank you so much. Steven, enjoying watching you from the Gulf Stream. G700, 650 miles per hour over the Atlantic, heading to the UK. Heading to the UK. Chip, chip, cheerio. You got to talk like you're British. And then you offend all the people that are from England watching me. But let's be honest, it's like 4 in the morning or something in England. What is it? GMT minus 8. So it's 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3 in the morning in the UK. Maybe I'll do one of these live streams early morning so I can take a night off one of these days. I got Douglas here from Edmonton. I think most of us look forward to going back to Vegas. Yes, that is true. But you know what? Here's the thing. All these YouTubers, and they're saying the same thing. They're like, Vegas is never going to be the same. Well, of course it's not going to be the same. You wouldn't want it to be the same, would you? Do you really want the same experience in Vegas where things are just filthy all the time? Isn't this just the whole cleanliness worldliness is next to godliness. Don't you realize that there are a lot of religions in this world? Islamic religion, Jewish religion, they have very, very specific dietary practices. It's in the Christian Bible that you're not supposed to eat certain types of things. It's in the first book. It's in Genesis and then Exodus, where they explain the dietary rules for the Jews, and it's, you know, and part of that was to keep people healthy in a time when they might have died from eating bad things. So, you know, it is what it is. Asian Horn Ultimate Bargain says that Asian Horn. We can say that. That's okay. I'm gonna post his message up here. That wasn't so offensive. Ultimate Bargains says Asian Hornets are yet another bioweapon from the Southeast Asia region. I'll tell you what's weird today. We had a bunch of flies in our house. It's fly season in Las Vegas, and I don't know how, but we got these big fat flies in our house. So I spent the first 20 minutes before this live stream just like swatting flies in my house. It was pretty like in this room. I'm like, oh my gosh. So I have a secret weapon. I went to Target a while back. I bought something that kills spiders on demand, and it seems to slow the flies down. It was crazy and gross. I mean, we're not unclean people. We have nice stuff, and they just seem to get in the house, and then they multiply and they thrive. So let's read some comments. I have a question for Vegas community. With Vegas reopening at some point, how is Vegas going to survive with all the restrictions going on and casinos doing the distancing stuff? TJM Voyager says, well, the question can be reflected back on any business. How are cruise ships going to survive? How are movie theaters going to survive? How are dine-in restaurants going to survive? How are offices going to survive? So the question, it remains, how is anything going to survive? There are some places where they say that if 8,000 people worked in an office in New York, maybe that's not the norm anymore. And that is a tough thing for a city like New York, where everything is sprawled and really close together. So if you had 1 million people that worked in Manhattan and you're supposed to socially distance, what do you do with 500,000 people? Whoa, Herbert is here. It must be the hair gel. Yeah, I mean, I wear the same hair gel, man. I don't know what to tell you. I use this really cool Mexican brand of hair gel. It comes in this wild bottle, and it's really good. And I only have to apply it a little bit. Hey, Rashid L is here. Herbert Daughtry. Thank Herbert Daughtry 322 times, guys. So, yes, are the pawn shops open? Paul asks. Yes, they are open. Pawn shops are considered an essential for people who are underbanked. Okerlund is here, likes the haircut. My wife loves the haircut. She loves the scissors. I have to ask the person that gave us the scissors what the care for those scissors are, because she wants to keep them sharp as a whip. Sharp as a whip? Is that a term? I don't know. How is Disneyland going to open? Stephanie says, guys, 337 thank yous to Okerlund. That was very nice of him. One of the casinos opening, I need to gamble. Lotto tickets aren't the same, AG says, and I agree. Whoa, Brianna, have to start driving to Georgia. Wow, Brianna is on the move. She's taking a midnight train to Georgia, but probably not a train, because I imagine trains might not be running, but trains are essential. How is that bullet train going to work? What is happening with the Virgin Las Vegas Casino? I saw some chatter in my chats. It said something to the effect of Richard Branson begging for money from the British government so that Virgin Atlantic doesn't go under. What's going to happen to the Virgin Casino in Las Vegas? I'll tell you what'll happen. Probably nothing, because he's not using money from one company to pay for another company. He has funding in several different projects. As a matter of fact, there's a good opportunity that his Virgin Atlantic company has zero to do with his Virgin Casino company. There's a blackjack in the room. He wants to come and beg. So I don't imagine anything's going to happen to the Virgin Casino in Las Vegas. And yeah, probably there are going to be some great travel deals for Virgin Atlantic travelers with Virgin Casino Las Vegas. But come on, man. They got to keep building that thing. Okay. Yes, I got Creedence Clearwater Revival reference, Stephen. Got it. Oh, very cool. Glad that I'm still pop culturally able to entertain you. Penn and Teller gone for good. I would have to go ahead and see that if Penn and Teller are checking out for good. But the thing about performers is that they are always around. Some people were saying that Penn Jillette should be our mayor. Penn Jillette is a very interesting individual. Stephen, how can anyone enjoy a casino or buffet or show in Vegas while wearing an uncomfortable mask and feeling the heat on your face? I don't know, but people might do it. I'm not sure what the answer to that is. There are lightweight masks. I mean, air conditioning is everywhere in the casinos. It might just be that, though, that's the new norm for a little bit. So you'll have to decide whether or not you're going to go anywhere, I guess, because people will have to weigh their options. They're going to have to weigh entertainment versus anything else. By the way, guys, I only have an hour in me tonight. This room I'm sitting in right now is very, very disorganized, and I promised my wife that I would organize. It's good for your soul, and she is right. Paul, $2. See the cat? Oh, this one wants to leave. Paul, thank you so much, guys. 362 thank yous to Paul. So I have only an hour in me tonight, okay? So have mercy on my soul. I've been cutting down really tall deer grass, which grows about 4 feet tall. That stuff does grow in Vegas, especially when the sprinklers hit it and it's warm. Vegas will be back to the norm. It's just a matter of time. Stephen Blackjack looks very alert tonight. Yeah, his diet's going well. He is getting to be fast and feisty and vocal, and I love it. It's like a different personality when they lose weight. You got to remember, like, if a cat is 25 pounds, all it has to do is lose 2.5 pounds to lose 10% of its body weight. You might say that's nothing, but if a man weighed 225 pounds, he'd have to lose 25 pounds to lose 10% of his body weight. Whoa, Joseph Dibb. First time I've seen you in these parts, Joseph. Thank you so much, guys. 366 thank yous to Joseph. Oh, my gosh. Joshua Hooks is here. Vegas stronger. I'll be back close to Labor Day to give Vegas some time to fully crank up. I think you'll be good on Labor Day. Paul, thank you also. Paul, 367. And Lisa, holy cow. If you want your mind blown, please read books by Dolores Cannon. Let's look up Dolores Cannon in a tab so I don't forget that. Dolores Cannon. Dolores Cannon is writes Convoluted Universe and the Three Waves of Volunteers, New Earth, Jesus and the Essenes, Keepers of the Garden. The Convoluted Universe looks interesting. I'm going to have to check that out, and I am for checking books out. I do like to read books. I was watching Robert Kiyosaki scare me today about the new economy. That guy is very smart. You should read Rich Dad, Poor Dad if you haven't already. Or you can listen to the audiobook totally free. I know most of you aren't doing anything. So, Lisa, thank you so much. 367 thank yous to Lisa. So we're gonna do this. We're gonna do this for an hour. So TJM Voyager says I got 366 people. You know, my high point here was 675 people. Maybe 700. I don't know. Anything new from the Vegas mayor who wants to open hotel rooms? No, the mayor's people told her to sit down and just chill. I guess. Irving asks, hey, did you try Allegra? Allegra makes me tired, so I use Sudafed, which makes me wired. And those rhyme, and I didn't do that intentionally. That is cool. I go to Vegas every year in June. Still have reservations at Rio and flights. That is good. Rio probably be open. Thank you, love. So we got cat food in this room now, which is good too. Do you answer your emails? Paul, I try to answer all of them, so I'll sit down every couple of days and just go through a bunch of them. I get emails. I feel like if I'm only answering a short email, people might hate me, and if I answer long, it takes a long time. Generally not great. If you emailed me, I apologize. Please re-email me. I am trying really hard. My email provider for my website is not great, and I try my best. Oh, well, see, Stephen, can you show us the new room and casino hygiene systems when Vegas reopens? I can talk about that on the channel for sure. I've been hearing a lot of crazy things from stuff like, so the major. I'll just go into this right now and talk about what I've been kind of hearing. And so you got to remember, some of this stuff I can't pin down. I can't tell you where I read it, but the casinos in Vegas are looking to do something that's more interconnected, okay? The casinos need to have a standard. Right now, everybody's freaked out. You know, the MGM has their plan. The Wynn has their plan. It's a surveillance plan. They have one plan over at the Venetian. But to keep people happy and safe, you have to have some semblance of rules. You can't just change the rules from one to the other. That would be crazy. That would be like baseball stadiums have different lengths for the outfield. Oh, they do over in Boston. But this would be radically different. So from what I hear, they're looking at thermal drones, Man, ways to clean things on the outside going in all the time. So in the casinos, it's always clean all the time. Because think about it this way. If we had some kind of system to clean your whole body, making sure you're going in and everybody's wearing a face mask, I guess we're okay. Unless somebody like, literally scratches their face under a face mask, I suppose. There's a lot of different ways to get it done. I have some things on my phone. I'll do a video on that possibly tomorrow, but there's a lot of that stuff. Mark, if you want to, Mark from Mac Barakai, who is in the Philippines or really likes beaches and nice areas, you can email me if you want to order a mask. We're doing 2 for $25. But if you are in Boracay, I don't know about mailing it to the Philippines without... I don't know how that would even work right now without the shipping. Do you send your merch out yourself or does someone else send it? Jake asks. I use Teespring, so I do the artwork and I put it on the I put it on the website and then they print and they send out for you. Cobra John says face masks are available on Etsy and you could definitely buy an Etsy face mask or you can get 2 for the price of 1 with my wife. Stephen, do you think the lower-level hotel establishment will survive the required Vegas hygiene upgrades? These upgrades will be super expensive. Yeah, I could see that Travelodge going away, the Motel 6 having issues. But, if they are required to do those things, they'll probably just charge you cleaning fees and put it into their cost. I don't know that they could survive that. Mr. Uber Vegas is in the house. Thank you so much, Mark, for joining the Patreon and always being in my chats. But, you know what? Those places already are very slim profit margins, but their buildings are paid for, so maybe they can pull some kind of equity out of what they already own and do it. But I don't know if they're going to care as much. But I don't know if people are going to want to stay there if they don't do anything about it. It's rough, right? It's like a chicken and an egg thing. Mark says the Wild West will be gone. I don't know about that. Oh, Mac is in Vegas. Cool, Mac. Yeah, if you're in Vegas, you can just email me. We can meet at a park somewhere, but don't tell the governor. I think actually we're allowed to go to parks again here in Las Vegas. Jake asks if resort fees will be a thing of the past. No, probably not. You probably have to pay a resort fee and a cleaning fee on top of all that. The New York subways are now closed from 1 to 5 a.m. to clean. First time ever. Well, Giuliani cleaned those subways back in the 90s by taking the first car off the line, cleaning it, and adding it to the back, and continuously doing that. So I don't know why they have to take the entire subway system down. But if nobody's using it, then why not? Why run it? Crispy Dill Pickle is back in the house. Are any resorts like Grand Desert opening or open? Absolutely, Crispy. Everything in terms of timeshare property seems to be open. Guys, 397, thanks for that. And whoa, Michael R. coming out of the shadows. Michael R., you are very generous. Guys, can I get 398 thank yous to Michael? That is very, very generous of you guys. Thank you so much. So the question is, do you want Vegas to be the same? I sure don't. I don't want to go to the Strip and know that it's the same as it was, with dealers not possibly washing their hands in the restrooms, maybe coming to work sick, people working in the kitchen not being properly vetted, Cisco bringing in food. A story about what I saw on Harmon Ave one day, and it wasn't the guy's fault, okay? I think it was either Cisco or the other one. They provide all of the food, like lots of pallets of food. There's all those restaurants sitting on the side. There's a Brazilian steakhouse, Nacho Daddy, a Korean place. There's Hot and Juicy Crawfish, Buffalo Wild Wings. So they bring these giant pallets that probably weigh about 500 pounds of food in. And they park their truck and they go up. And somebody didn't wrap his skid properly. If you've never worked in transportation, imagine a pallet. You've seen them at Walmart right before the Black Friday sales go on. And it's full of food and it's wrapped with basically industrial size saran wrap. And the guy's walking and he goes, oh, shoot. And you can just see it. It's like a slow motion video. That's a lyric from a song. But anyways, the whole pallet shifts and it just, and then it sped up. It was like watching one of those cool videos where it goes from high speed to slow speed. And every food all over. The fresh food, fresh pineapples, fresh tomatoes, fresh, any kind of fresh produce they'd use at a Brazilian steakhouse. I didn't say the name, did I? It doesn't really matter at this point. And so he basically picked up all the food, restacked it, and then brought it in box by box. Did he tell anybody? No. Wow, do you want that same experience in Vegas? I don't think so. But, you know, a lot of people want this exact same way it was. Guys, we're not going back to the way it was. 5-second rule. This is more like 50-minute rule. This was the 6,000 second rule. He decided to take her. Wait, no, 3,600 second rule. Is that what an hour is? 60 times 60, 3,600. Okay, anyways, yeah, so that was not very cool. But that's what I'm talking about. When it comes to relaxed ways of being. And you know, it's funny because our parents and our grandparents and everybody, they used to say, make sure you wash your hands. Make sure you wash your hands after you use the bathroom. And a lot of these places, I'm sure, did at the higher end places, but you don't want to be like that. Well, Stephen, the rideshare is going to be improving the cleanliness of the vehicles. Well, there's a rideshare guy, Mr. Uber, Mark Rotten, is in this chat right now. He was one of the ones, he said he would always be cleaning all the time. Cleaning after a guest leaves, cleaning before a guest gets in. Now, I hear there's technologies out there, ways that they can possibly, they did it in, I read an article, and you can find this on Google yourself, okay? They used some kind of nanotechnology to clean Rome, Italy surfaces, and that would last for like 2 months. So you could clean something with nanotechnology if you're not familiar. It's tiny little machines that are so small you can't see them. They're programmed to do specific tasks. In the future, they say that nanotechnology will go into your body, know what cancer cells are, kill the cancer cells, make you cancer free. That's in the future. In the here and now, I heard that that exists. Maybe somebody comes up with a better version of that for cleans for longer. That's one thing, but yeah, the Uber drivers are one of those ones. And now I know in New York City, right? You see them on TV. I've never been to New York City. Maybe someday somebody will invite me. But they have those plexiglass sliders. Those are partially for the safety of the driver, so you know people don't get mugged. But I'm sure that's going to be the norm in taxis in Las Vegas. I would think so. Mark says that Wall Street warlord, yes, and newsflash, all drivers and passengers will be required to wear a mask. Very useful information. Thank you so much, Mark. Still haven't forgotten the offer masks for an air conditioner back there, and I will take you up on that in the future. So there you go. So rideshare will be more cleanliness, but would you guys, does it take away from the experience if you have a permanent plexiglass shield like you're riding in the back of a police car? I don't know what to tell you. Heck, let's just remove all the seats and make them hard plastic seats like the police, so that way they can just spray things in there. Oh, so Wall Street Warlord says, I'm invited to New York City and Wall Street. That would be cool. I would always want to see the Big Apple. The Big Apple, I want to go and meet the naked singing cowboy if he's still there. Just because I saw him on TV. I'm just kidding. I don't want to meet a naked singing cowboy. I'm from Alberta, Canada. You get too drunk in that town and you're a naked singing cowboy. Never happened to me personally. I'm just going to tell you. There was a place back where I lived. I don't know if it's still around in Calgary. Maybe if there's Canadians from Alberta. It's called Cowboys. It was a bar. It was a club. And it was like a country western bar, and their motto was the most fun you can have with your boots on. How's that for innuendo, huh? Has it been 40 days yet? It feels like it's been 400 days. We were supposed to be in New York City, Jen says, on May 22nd. Wow, that is a bummer. That's how we get immune to things, by playing the dirt when we were young, Christopher says. That's true to a point, and herd immunity will be a thing. See how much he touches his face? This is the issue of community spread. It's an involuntary habit, causes spread. Steven is the smartest guy in the world. What he doesn't realize, oh, thank you, Vegas Mooch. 407, thanks for Vegas Mooch. Vegas rideshare drivers are friendlier than in LA. Very good. See, Mark, you're doing a good job, Mark. Guys, 400 thank yous to Mr. Vegas Mooch. What my friend Steven up there doesn't realize is that maybe he's late to the chat. I just had a black cat that's shedding who needs a bath on me. I put him next to my face, and then he sheds fur. So thank you for your commentary, Steven. See, and I could reflect it right back on you. I could see, that's the reason why people in parking lots scream at you to go further away from them. Happened to me. That's the reason why this city is going to be a bit of a powder keg if people come here with a chip on their shoulder because they're overly paranoid about coronavirus. Guys, I've showed you the stats. Go take a look. Things are getting better across this country as a whole, but the news doesn't want to tell you that. The news wants to tell you to lock yourself in your house for 18 months until there's a crazy community spread will lead to immunity, Williams says. And by the way, pretty sure a lot of people have already had this thing. There are a lot of people talking online that say they've been to Las Vegas. They came out for the Consumer Electronics Show. They went back. Ask some people that you know. Ask them. Okay, say, hey, did you get weirdly sick in the last 4 months? They might say it. They might say, come to think of it, I got this weird cough that I never had. I got this weird thing, and I just couldn't put my finger on it. Because what did they say? They said, how often? Okay, so they said that most people are going to get this thing, and we just stay at home, and everybody else should stay at home if one person in the home gets it. Herbert says, touch, 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 touch. Wall Street Warlord says, how often does a grasshopper massive storm occur? Not often. We sure don't have them this year. We sure don't have them this year. And I think that in the next 6 to 9 months, this is just me thinking based on medical. See, I'm touching my face. If you guys have a problem with that, I'm not doing it to make you mad, but I'm doing it because I'm itchy. I have allergies. I've been cutting down grass. The only thing that bothers me is the hornets. They suck. I think Stanford did a study. They did a study out in Connecticut in a small town where they took 300 random people and gave them all blood draws. And they found that 30% of the 300 people in a Connecticut town all had antibodies to it. And that's not the solution, by the way. Anybody tells you antibodies are the solution, it's not the solution. Okay, antibodies could mean you have a little antibody, maybe not enough antibodies, and we don't know what the reinfection rate is. Out of the thousands of people my wife and I know worldwide, not one person has gotten sick, Wall Street Warlord says. I know 2 people that got sick. And they work, I'm not going to tell you anything about them, but they work in a position where they would be with the public a whole lot, like large events, 500 to 5,000 people. And they did those all the way up until the government said you had to shut down out here. And that was it, And I'm in my own house. I can touch my face if I want to. And that's another thing, too. Like in Georgia, for example, people are either vilifying or they're glorifying the governor because he let people do things like go to movie theaters, get their nails done, get their hair cut, or go to the doctor's office. But the thing is, in Georgia, it's not like an order that you have to open. If you don't want to open your store, you don't have to open your store. There's no consequences. Paul Rotter says a touch too much. I love it, Paul. Guys, thank you so much. 437 likes for Paul. We're also going to have a massive 437 likes and thank yous for Herbert. And thank you guys for being great. I hope that all the other live streamers you guys watch command everybody to say thank you, because these people don't have to do anything like this. I'm not asking anybody to do that. And that's what it is. The Yellow Productions guy said there are no more day or night clubs, period. Well, James, that's interesting. Yeah, no. I mean, come on. That's like ridiculous, okay? Yeah, right now there are no more day or night clubs, period. Right now, that's a terrible idea. I'm not telling anybody to go to things like that. I think that would be stupid of them. I think if they opened up those things, they should be brought up on criminal mischief charges. That's dumb. But there will be a point when people get over this. Do you know about the Spanish flu of 1918? The Spanish flu of 1918. Whoa, DJ Wilson, thank you so much. Yes, there are resort fees at Caesars on their reservations. There are. Yes, there are. I think maybe it was you that emailed me, and I have to email you back, that you were looking at the resorts and they were taking reservations, but they were still charging $37.50 resort fees. The Venetian, if you could book a room into June, is still charging $51. I know for a fact that Sahara, not charging a resort fee, and they're giving one stay, get one stay for free. But again, that's the Sahara. You'd have to stay a little bit off the strip, but whatever. Well, here's what it is, okay? Can't recall what I was saying, but I need you guys to thank DJ. To thank him 446 times. I got another half an hour on the live stream. I don't want to let you guys down with live streams. One of these days I'm going to do one earlier because I need to get out to the Raider Stadium at dark, but I'll let you know. So if you're watching the videos, if you're on the Facebook group that day, I'll let you know 2 days in advance that I'm doing it earlier. If you love these live streams, it'll be a couple hours earlier so I can get out to the stadium at dusk. Okay, Steve Snyder says you tried other YouTubers terrible, but they're not, well, that's your opinion. I don't know what to tell you. I try to keep energy level going, try to keep my voice going. It's like this. If you just want to be good, we're talking about Spanish flu. If you want to be good, do what's already good. So with me, I was watching the radio. I just killed a fly. That's weird. I was watching the radio. It was really boring, and then I turned it on. Peter Griffin. Anyways, the radio announcers out here are pretty good. I mean, you listen to radio people, they have to keep their cadence up. They have to talk with their voice. But anyways, Spanish flu. Spanish flu killed a ridiculous amount of people. Let's look up Spanish flu so you guys can get an idea, okay? Spanish flu deaths. Now, Spanish flu killed 50 million people. 50 million! What? Yeah, there it is on the CDC website. It says the Spanish flu and the Spanish influenza. That is nuts. Can you imagine 50 million people? That is intense. Now, there was 500 million cases, and it had 50 million people, and it would lasted from January 1918 to December of 1920. To December of 2020. It lasted 102 years, my friends. No, so the Spanish flu, and then, of course, they changed the Wikipedia article. Now it's just known as the 1918 flu pandemic because you can't say Spanish flu, apparently. 50 million. Whoa, Jerry. I was not looking at my chat. Thank you, Jerry Driver. 447 thank yous to Jerry Driver. And it did start in an army base in Kansas. He is correct. And it did go overseas. And it did have a lot to do with the fact that men were signing up for the draft to go out to war. And there was a lot to do with all that stuff. And the government also suppressed information back in the day. So it was actually the opposite of what's happening right now, where our government is doing, so far, I think, a great job in getting information out and doing their best. I mean, daily press, I would like to know how many of you guys could do 2-3 hours in front of the entire world, essentially, on a YouTube channel and get away with it. That was nuts. And they did that every day for all those days until the bell curve started trending down, and then the news, they stopped covering it for whatever reason. So, I mean, so that's my point. The Spanish flu killed 50 million people. Now, this thing has killed over 1 million people, so this is essentially, that was 50 times worse than this. A lot of history books need to be rewritten to change the Spanish flu to 1918 flu. I don't even know the namesake, William. Some people want it changed, I guess. We're not supposed to call it that, I suppose. And also Zika virus. I guess it comes from Zika. And swine flu came from pigs, but that's offensive to pigs. And everything's offensive to everybody nowadays. Guys, get over that. I mean, COVID stands for coronavirus disease, and it's the 19th variant. Just call it that if you don't like it, I guess. Jake asks what it's been like in Vegas. It's been warm. Well, today wasn't hot. It was 87. Tomorrow's 87 again. Do you watch today's press briefings? They are cluster blank, LA Shadow says. I don't know about that. Crispy Dill Pickle. Wow, that's nice of you, Crispy Dill Pickle. 439 likes. Thank yous. What will be the best thing to do in Vegas for first timers, Crispy? I would say what you want to do is you want to research before you get to Las Vegas. You want to see as much as the free attractions as you can on your first visit, because that will get you an idea of what the city is like. And if you can do so, go off the strip and get some dining in Chinatown. Maybe go out to Hoover Dam and see something that's not just Las Vegas, but see those nice, awesome big buildings. Don't just spend time on the casinos, because there's no reason for that, And Ron says it's because it's year 19. Well, no, it's because it's the 19th variant, but that's a good, that would be an interesting thing. But no, there's been all these different coronaviruses throughout this time. Yep, and go Bears. Thanks, Crispy. You guys are awesome for being so generous, and I really appreciate y'all, you guys being cool. Mountain Dew in a soup cup. Bill Gates says that the second thing that would happen would be a biological weapon. I get scared when Bill Gates talks, because when Bill Gates says things, horrible pandemics happen. So I wish Bill Gates would stop, because I don't want a bioweapon to go off somewhere. And introducing high-speed broadband to more of the rural areas would be great infrastructure to protect and spark the economy, Williams says. Yeah, they tried that, actually, under the Clinton administration. So what happened, you see, was that the cable companies went to the administration, and they said, we have this thing called the last mile problem. The last mile problem is where you have to get the internet from the central hub the last mile to people's houses. the Clinton administration gave a bunch of money to those cable providers, and they built things like video on demand, and that's what happened with that. So yes, I mean the market will generally decide about those broadband. Right now, 5G is coming about, and if you think it's going to fry all of our brains or not, it is what it is. But 5G will change the way our world works forever. 5G is incredibly complicated in Las Vegas. I see I'm driving it towards Vegas. 5G in Las Vegas is hard. Well, 5G is generally hard anywhere. Joe says that Gates is rich. He's not a genius. Well, Joe, I don't like to say people are wrong, but Bill Gates is a genius. He's a genius level. I mean, he did things when he founded his company, Microsoft, that make him ingenious. And the founding of Microsoft, there's good YouTube videos. You might want to go watch how they didn't even have a product. And they sold a product that they didn't have. Then they bought a product, rewrote the product, and then hoped it worked when they demoed it to, I think it was IBM. I don't remember the company it was, but they had to demo their product they didn't even have and they didn't even own. And it was pretty amazing. Anyways, yeah, so 5G is hard in Las Vegas. They're trying to install 5G. They don't have any 5G antennas really active except for in a few different spots. And I keep seeing this tech talk, and I want to gear towards tech talk, but, you know, anyways. Either way, I don't want to veer off Vegas. But AT&T's got some 5G. T-Mobile has some 5G. T-Mobile's 5G isn't really 5G network in Las Vegas. It is, but there's two versions of 5G. There's a broad and a narrow version, and one of them is way faster. So T-Mobile has more coverage. Verizon has practically none. And even then, imagine a grid of graph paper. That's your city. You would have to put those antennas on nearly every building. So the Strip could get 5G coverage. That wouldn't be a hard thing because you can put antennas everywhere on the Strip. But you also have to have lines of sight, which means that in buildings, it's probably not going to work in Las Vegas. It's probably not going to work in Las Vegas. The Noid is hungry. Well, you can order Domino's. I get your name. I know who you are. You are the Noid. You have to avoid the Noid. Avoid the Noid. Domino's, baby. Domino's is great out here in Las Vegas. You know, you get the contactless pizza. Yeah, they have an app on Domino's that you can download from the App Store where you put your account in there. All right, Ron G, I'm wrong. You're right. Okay, I stand corrected. My bad. I guess I misread my information. I'm glad that Ron G is giving us some good stuff in the chat. Thank you, Ron G, for being awesome and correcting the record. You got one. You're good. Guys, thank Ron G for being awesome on that and researching and giving us that quote. Anyways, yeah, you can just basically put in your whatever you like and tell it your favorite order and then tap an app and then they bring the pizza to you. Pretty cool. You don't even have to call them or do anything. Anyways, 5G gives you cancer. Well, who knows? Yeah, there's a lot of things about it. And I was called something by 420 Review. So, yeah, you can go here and we can put you away. You're gone. See you later. You're awesome. All right, yeah, that's cool that Ron was able to correct the record. I guess that I was wrong. Mark says they do have it. Again, it's like this intersection, that intersection. We'll see what happens. It'll be fun. Yeah, at the same time, let's get back to the Vegas. Would you want it to be the same? I know I sure wouldn't want it to be the same. But what needs to change? Well, obviously, we need more cleanliness. Cleanliness is next to godliness. That's the way the saying goes. And I guess that has a lot to do with being healthy, being fit, not worrying where your food comes from, not worrying where the people are, who's handling your food, what's happening back in the kitchen. Maybe a little bit more transparency from these companies. Let's got a Vegas questions. Do you think Las Vegas diversify the economy going forward? James, I mean, it's done some good things. Google just opened up a data center here. Zappos is doing a lot of things downtown. Of course, Zappos is owned by Amazon. Las Vegas is becoming a good transportation hub for deliveries from these places. It's nice. But yeah, diversifying the economy is tough. Oh man, you have a cat named Grateful Fred. Bruce Stewart, you are the man, dog. That is the best name of a cat I've ever seen in my whole life. If I can get some likes for Fred, because I only have 160 likes on this chat. Will the casinos really wash the sheets? Well, the Noid, it looks as though they are going to be doing that. Like the Winds has that part of their plan. They say they're going to wash all the sheets at like 180 degrees Fahrenheit water, and this thing can't survive in certain levels of heat. I don't know if it's true about it's hot in the desert, but you know, that's the thing about the whole breathing out. because in colder climates, viruses do survive a lot more, and in hotter climates, they survive a lot less. So we'll see if that has anything to do with it. I'm okay with less traffic initially, but Vegas is fun when packed, so I hope it returns. It will return eventually, I know that much. Paul Rotter says he wants bans on Fremont. I don't blame you. Pahrump, one word for you, Robert says. Well, yeah, you can always go to Pahrump. Pahrump's growing pretty quickly, too. One of the last items that will resurface in the world after this mess, sanity. Oh, amen to that, my friend. We will drink to that, Shadow. Oh, I got a lot of chats going on, guys. You guys are fast on the draw. Will smoking be banned in casinos? Probably not. I think that would be the last step. Maybe they find some kind of proof that it lives in the smoke. Yeah, John, I got 22,000 subscribers now. Just over 22,000, maybe close to 22,200. I'm very, very grateful of all you guys listening to me for some reason. If things are too clean, everyone's immune systems will become weak. This is a reason babies put everything in their mouths. Arlene says. Also, that's right, Arlene. Babies also need to explore the world around them. Babies don't have like the same, what do they call that, servo mechanism and system in their bodies. Like babies don't understand when you get to the edge, you have to stop. They'll fall over once and then they won't fall over again, right? So babies are constantly exploring the world and they want to test their senses. So they do put things in their mouth. And that does help to give them some kind of immunity to some things. Hello, Albert Alvarado from my Patreon. How you guys doing out there? No more $1,000 Sky bottle service, James. Probably not for a little while, but I'm sure they'll find another way for you to pay $1,000 for a bottle. Or you could just pay that on your own because you want to have ultra luxury premium. But $1,000 is cheap. Are you kidding me? I've heard some of these places like the villas over at the Wynn Encore, the beach club they built, costing $10,000 for a villa. We can put 4 people there. Like, who's paying $2,500 a person? I guess if you do have to impress people, you could do something like that. Jake asks how the housing market is. It's good. It's as good as it has been. I know your guess as to why is as good as mine. Doesn't make any sense, but that's very strange. And that shouldn't have been deleted, Jake. Somebody deleted it. Guys, you don't delete questions if you're a moderators. And you don't delete questions from people. That, you don't have to do that, guys. Yeah, if somebody asks a question about the housing market, we're allowed to ask questions about the housing market. So mods, please don't go and do anything unless people are being hateful, ridiculous, sexist, racist, bigoted, anti-Semitic, anti-Islamic, anti-Christian, anti-whatever, okay? Thank you, guys. Mods are doing a great job, and I appreciate y'all looking out for the channel. Chips will have some kind of antiviral built into them. That's a very good possibility. It could be. Competition for attendance at casinos and renters in hotels. This is good for the player, though, okay? It's good to have competition. It's good if the Planet Hollywood has to do more to get you in the door if you're staying across the street of the Bellagio, right? Because, they have their built-in fan base, but people will be disloyal if there's good deals to be had. William says it's because of California politics. We do get a lot of people that leave California to come to Las Vegas. It is true. Part of it is the economy. Maybe part of it's the politics, but it's mostly the economy. You see, if you have a house that has $1 million value in California, it's likely you can buy 2 houses in Las Vegas for that. One that you can own and rent and build equity in, one that you can live in, and you can pay cash for both of them. It's an automatic moneymaker. And I had a friend in California who was telling me one of the reasons why this is because a lot of people in California come from older money and their parents gave them a house and now they don't even have to pay for it. So they just buy something in Nevada. Janice says conventions by October. Maybe. I mean, I could see the first big events that happen being maybe the Cowboy Christmas. But then again, we don't know what's going to happen in the fall. It could be that in the fall it flares up again. We don't know what's going on. So maybe the first big convention ends up being the Consumer Electronics Show. And maybe then, so the Las Vegas Convention Visitors Convention Authority or Convention Visit, whatever it's called, LVCVA, Las Vegas Convention or Visitors Authority. They say that conventions are going to be staggered. You're going to have less people. We're going to socially distance everybody. But my main concern is if we ever get basically stuck in the muck where we're used to being socially distanced, it's going to be a lonely world. My cockatoo screams not leaving Las Vegas all night. Help, Paul says. That's cute, Paul. Thank you. I moved to Vegas last year. Cyclonics 1KK. Well, welcome. Thank you for coming. Will the Golden Nugget be open by August 6th? I don't know. We're going to have to see what Phase 1 looks like. William asks about SEMA. Man, I can't. SEMA's a tough show. Reason why, I mean, it's all things that you have to see in real life. You can't really do. There's certain shows you can do virtual reality style, right? Right. Who cares about the E3 Expo, Electronic Entertainment? That's video games. Video games is easy. NAB, that's a little easy. Yeah, people like to touch equipment and stuff like that, but NAB is, something you can do virtually, show off streaming technologies. SEMA, well, that's tough, obviously. I think the one we have to look at is the National Finals Rodeo. If that one is going to cancel, then I don't foresee any conventions coming back for a while. Stephanie asks, what is Pahrump? Pahrump is a small satellite community on the other side of Blue Diamond Road in Las Vegas. So if you were to take the strip all the way down to where the Silverton is, you'll... Oh, thank you, Jared Green. Guys, 475 likes for Jared Green. We got 15 minutes left. Let's explain what Pahrump is. Guys, thank you so much, Jared Green. That is awesome for you. Let's see here. So Pahrump is in a different county. It's in Nye County. Robert Wetzel said something to the effect of Pahrump is where you go to blank. And that's fine, Robert. Yeah, okay. So because of the way Ladies of the Night operate, okay, they don't operate in Clark County. Those guys you see handing out the naked lady cards, that's not what that's supposed to be, but I can't talk about that stuff openly here on YouTube because of their PG-13 standard. So they have those places where those ladies work in Pahrump. But Pahrump is a community with wineries and stores and older retired folks. If you take the strip down to Silverton, you turn west and you keep going, you'll go all the way to, you have a choice to go to Pahrump or to loop back through Red Rock. And if you keep going, Pahrump is a pretty cool place. Literally upper higher end elevation. They get snow in the wintertime a couple of times a year. It's actually a nice little community. I like it. I like Pahrump. There's a winery in Pahrump. We had somebody here that said something, hi, not leaving Las Vegas. This is Hauling Papper. I think our leadership is sad, no direction. If Vegas stays closed till late June or July, it will be in real trouble. I would like to explore that idea of why it would be in real trouble. Because if everything is staying closed until June or July, then we're all just keeping up with the Joneses. So it could be argued that if Vegas doesn't do blankety blank blank blank, if it doesn't all crazy like this, then Vegas would be in real trouble. But that's not what's happening right now. Jake asked about Hoover Dam Tours. Well, you can always drive to the Hoover Dam. I mean, the Hoover Dam is on a highway, and it goes, until just recently, it was the only way to get from, Nevada into Arizona at that point. Now they have the big bypass bridge. But I imagine you can drive to Hoover Dam. I mean, they just opened up Lake Mead, so cars can go in there. I don't know if any of the boat rentals are up or anything like that, but I know you can still go to Hoover Dam. I don't know if you can stop. Steven, do hey naked lady. No. Hey nice lady. Some amazing golf up there. Yes, there's nice golf courses. There's also nice golf courses in Mesquite. Tiger won his first pro tournament at the Las Vegas National Golf Course, which is where the House from Casino is, just so you know. Hi, Steven. I'm a filmmaker thinking about starting a vlogging channel with my visits to Vegas. Any advice, Danny says. Have you ever made a YouTube channel before, Danny? If the answer is yes, then just do whatever you think works for you. But if the answer is no, then there's a few best practices, and I could do an entire hour-and-a-half talk on that. But I have to look behind me to make sure there's no cat. But that's like a complicated, loaded thing. I would just say look at, if you've never started a YouTube channel before, do the research on how to do a YouTube channel first before you even venture out there. It's important to do the best practices. And most people, I don't know, they just They don't really know what they're doing, and so they can have the best content in the world, but it will be completely ignored by everybody because they don't know how to promote themselves. People are afraid to ask. The ask is the biggest part of the sales pitch. Stephen, in honor of Star Wars, may the Fourth be with you. Yes, I understand. The Force and the Swartz be with you. All the best from 35,000 feet. Good night, Wall Street. Have a great night wherever you might be, jet setting around the world. I guess that's what Wall Street people do. Do you know if STLV will still happen? I don't even know what that is, Red Pill, so you got one on me. That's interesting. What is that? St. Louis, Las Vegas? Is that? I don't know what that is. I'm so sorry, man. I feel stupid right now. Yeah, tomorrow's the 4th. It's Star Wars Day, everybody. So let's all go celebrate by watching how Disney has wrecked my childhood. How do I think the local bars and pubs will work? Probably just 20% capacity. Make sure that they limit the people in there and make sure they're spaced apart. How old is Domino? Domino is, gosh, it's hard to say, 15, 16 years old. Tomorrow we'll talk about the Pinball Hall of Fame a little. We can do that. I really wish I would have gone there before everything closed down, especially for the channel. I was planning on making my way at some point in the springtime after the move, but now we're here. Yes, you can ride. Ooh, gold money. I just moved to Pahrump from Hawaii. My house costs less than half, and I'm on a golf course. See, gold money knows where it's at. He's got 2 turntables and a microphone. But hey, 497 thank yous to him. See, he did the thing where you go from here, you go from there, and you have half the house value. You sell your house in Hawaii. You get to live on your proceeds in Las Vegas and own a house and get to be on a golf course. That is so awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate it, Gold Money. That is very generous of you. The generosity is crazy with you guys. You're all so awesome, and I want to thank you all so much. So much. Star Trek Las Vegas. Rich, yes, okay, so that would be at the Rio. I don't know of any conventions that are going on right now. It's going to be crazy. Yes, LA Shadow is quoting another Beck song. Soy Emperador. I'm a loser, baby, so why don't you kill me? Oh, I said kill me. YouTube's going to ban my channel. I totally agree. Disney wrecked Star Wars and my childhood, too. Yes, I know. Trust me. I'm surprised they're not trying to build some kind of Star Wars thing here. Star Wars ended with The Return of the Jedi. I actually got to be one of those guys. Maybe we'll talk a little longer if it's not Vegas stuff. I have to be one of those people who actually thought the prequels weren't terrible if you watch them and just realize that they kind of flesh out a story. I mean, they had their good aspects, I guess. But the whiny kid and Hayden Christensen and everybody in Canada was all excited because a Canadian was going to be in the movie. And then whatever happened to him? Nothing for nobody. How long till property taxes are raised, Holling asks. I don't know, man. That's a great point, isn't it? Some people are also talking about how they may just have some kind of a personal income tax in the state of Nevada. Do a blog of Mount Charleston. I'd love to do that. Okay, talk about Star Wars. Oh, man. Yeah, well, there's a really good blog I told you guys about. It's Something Wars. And they actually have one. There was an American Innovations version of that. And they were talking about Star Wars and the creating of it and how, like, George Lucas invented the whole green screen aspect because he kind of had to. And the technology that goes into the films. Whoa, GHW. How's the level in Lake Mead? Well, it's never very good. A few years ago, they filled up Lake Mead. Most of the Lake Mead water doesn't even come from here. And Susan VP, I see you. I see you up in Canada, Ontario. I'll get to you in a sec. Just got to answer GHW. So it's not great, but most of the water for Lake Mead does not come from Las Vegas. I mean, we only get 4 inches of rain a year, and it's not enough to fill up Lake Mead. So most of what happens in Lake Mead happens outside of the state of Nevada entirely. It comes from the Colorado River and its tributaries, and all of the tributaries run even all the way up into Canada. So if they have a low season in British Columbia for snow, for example, that doesn't get here. And, you know, we've been in a perpetual drought forever. Ever and ever. So it's not great. They filled it up a few years ago, but it'll always be low and it'll always get lower. Get low. That's a song. Susan VP, thank you for the live stream. She says, guys, I need 475 thank yous to GHW and 475 thank yous to Susan. That was so nice of them. And that is very, very kind of you guys to do. I grew up upstate. New York and went to Canada often. I grew up in Niagara Falls and went to upstate New York often, so we have that. Well, I remember going to Rochester and stuff like that. We went to a little amusement park called Fantasy Island. And the day that we went out there, the park was rented out by some auto company like Ford or something. And we didn't know. And my father was never the biggest sales guy in the world, but he managed to convince the manager to let us in. And we just didn't fit in, but we had a great time. There was hardly anybody in the park. It was awesome. Oh, Robert's from... See, Robert's from Rochester. People from Rochester are super nice people, guys. I'm going to tell you, if you guys never met anybody... I guess I have that. I was in Vegas, you know. I was in Vegas for so long, and I got to meet so many people working in the timeshare thing. And to me, it's like... It's amazing. You meet people, and you realize some people from some parts of the country are just super cool people, you know? That's good. Paul asks if they can fit a cockatoo. I would love to see that happen. We're thinking of putting it on our cat. Probably not going to happen. Never heard of it. Yoda. There you go. Boom. Paul. Rochester, Michigan. See, we have 2 Rochesters. That's actually 2. So, yeah. So, people from Michigan are also really nice, too. Is Rochester Upper Peninsula? When you meet somebody from Michigan, you're supposed to hold out your hand and say, which part of Michigan are you from? But then if they touch you, you should scream coronavirus at them and run away. Mom, you should be able to do that. Let's see. What does Arnold think about Star Wars? You're not going to trick me, Johnny. I can't do the Arnold voice tonight. My throat hurts from allergies. Oh, he's from Lower, Detroit area. He's from the D. The Mitt. I don't know what that is. The Mitt. He's from that part, I guess. That's the Mitt. There you go. I love it. When are the Detroit Lions going to be a good team? I'd love to see them be good. I like the underdogs. That's why. And Detroit, you guys have great sports fans in Detroit. Even though Detroit is first and foremost hockey town. Stephen, the breadth of your knowledge across many subjects is incredible. Thank you, John. That's very nice of you. But you probably have a million things that you know that are useless like me. I miss Mermaids and the Riviera. Mermaids was the place where you could get like deep fried Oreos, deep fried Twinkies, deep fried Snickers, deep fried everything's. It's nuts. And I can't talk like Jar Jar because okay, look, I'm not like I'm really, really centered. I don't care. Most things don't offend me, but even Jar Jar Binks offends me. That impression, I don't know. Hey, did you hear the guy, Jar Jar Binks guy, was supposed to be hosting an American Ninja Warrior version with Star Wars theming? That's what I mean about destroying my childhood. Disney was going to put on Disney Plus. It was basically going to be a Jedi-themed American Ninja Warrior with the guy who played Jar Jar Binks on it. And I'm like, that's not a chance to redeem yourself. That's a chance to make the world hate you. But that's the thing. You can just stamp a logo on something and people will buy it. There's a bunch of people. Like, that's the thing about Vegas, man. You got YouTubers and like, so say hi to Matthew's great. He has great content. He does great content. But you got YouTubers that don't even live here. He's not one of them. That's not who I'm talking about. But what I'm saying is these guys that don't even live here and they try to come here and make a Vegas blog, and I'm not criticizing that guy who asked me about it. He might be great, like say hi to Matthew, but they think you can just stamp Vegas on anything and it sells. But that's not the case. But you can't just stamp Star Wars on anything and have it sell either. There've been a bunch of bad Star Wars video games and stuff throughout the years. But Jedi Knight was a great game, by the way. That was an awesome game. I love using the Force push. Now Rock says, do I miss hockey? I sure do. Matt, one of my Patreon folks who is always super generous. My memory is always useless. Well, I have a bad memory too. I have to put lists and everything. How do you think New York City will change? I don't know, Robin Zeg. I've never been to New York City. I can't speak on it exactly, but I'm sure it'll be a lot like Vegas, just trying to go with the rolls and stuff like that, go with the flows and all that kind of stuff. But, it is what it is. In the 80s, Star Wars, the musical, the Christmas Star Wars that George Lucas refuses to say exists. Go watch Nostalgia Critic. He does a very good review of the Star Wars Christmas. It has like B. Arthur in it. There's a bunch of stars. It makes no sense. The Wookiees are doing stuff and having a Wookiee Christmas, but it's not Christmas. I don't know. It's just weird. Star Wars is weird in the 80s. The Naked Gun was a great movie. Surely you must be joking, or surely you're not serious. I am serious, and don't call me Shirley. What about the Silverton and Samstown and Eastside Cannery? What about them, Vivian? They're doing like everybody else. They're just in protection mode. I mean, the South Point finally laid people off. Haven't heard anything about the Silverton laying people off. Is it possible that Hollywood take advantage of the low attendance in Vegas, start filming movies to help Vegas with income as well as not having to block 4 shutdowns? I mean, they already film movies here. I don't know if you're asking take advantage of low. Oh yeah, they might be AVH 700. I see what you're saying. They film movies in Vegas. The challenge. Thank you, Victor Kral says I'm good at what I do, guys. 461 thank yous to Victor. The real challenge with filming a movie in Vegas is the weather. It's the weather. John Kim is here. Whoa. Steven, you are a guy that's big. Thanks. Steven, you, sir, es un hombre más grande. You are a very big man. Thank you. Well, thank you very much, John Kim. I think that's what you said. I think that's what you said. Yes, there was an Ewoks cartoon back in the day. So, guys, thank John Kim 455 times, and thank Victor another 459 times because it just increased. But I think the challenge in Vegas. What is your vector, Victor? That's a thing. That's a thing. I wish you guys knew who Phil Hendry was because I could talk about him forever, but nobody knows who that is. So the big challenge is filming is the heat. Okay, so even when they film, they were filming American Ninja Warrior on the spot by the October 1st incident for years, and they'd have to do the filming at like 1 in the morning or 2 in the morning because it's so hot. But they would be filming it during the summertime, and it would just be tough. Is it blogs or vlogs? I don't know. When I tag my videos, I say Las Vegas vlog, Las Vegas vlogger, Las Vegas blog, Las Vegas blogger. What do you think of a VPN, Johnny? I use a VPN. I actually have an affiliate account with them, but I've never ever told anybody about it. I think they pay me money if you use it, if you pay for it. I use a VPN for practically everything I do online. Are you kidding me? And if you're in Vegas, you need to use a VPN. Do not ever connect to a wireless network in the casinos if you're not on a VPN. Does anybody know what the hell I'm talking about? What is a VPN? So somebody in the chat knows what a VPN is. And my chat stopped. Maybe I didn't say anything good to anybody. Wah, wah. Why did my chat stop? Oh, there it is. Hotspot. VPNs. No. Okay, so here's how this works, okay? Oh, man. Okay, this is a Vegas thing. This is important for you, but it's also a wherever you live thing, okay? I know about Phil Hendry. Ha-ha! Socks on a Duck is awesome. I can tell you about the very first Phil Hendry sketch I ever met. It was a Vegas thing, but I'll tell you that in a minute. A VPN stands for Virtual Private Network. And what happens when you connect to a website and you're on your phone or your dedicated house internet connection is that it's a one-to-one connection. If you're with Verizon, you type in a thing on your phone, it goes to Verizon, goes there, goes back to you. That's pretty safe, okay? But when you're on a VPN, when you're on a Wi-Fi network, a hotspot, you're at the Caesars Palace, you're at the Planet Hollywood on the free guest Wi-Fi. Even on the paid Wi-Fi, use a VPN. That means that anybody in the middle of you, the hotel, and the internet can get in the middle and they can intercept packets of data, little packets of data. When you send out a request, it gets broken down into little chunks. Those chunks contain things like your credit card numbers, your personal information for your login to your bank account or to your email account. Or they could just be really bad security on the network and they could just log all the keys from a device and they can see exactly what you're typing and just scoop it all up. It's called a keylogger. Well, a VPN basically makes it look like you're somewhere else. So it routes it through a third party. So there's you. There's where you're trying to go. There's the casino. Well, it goes zip, dip, 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 and it makes it look like you're not who you are. So it's virtually, it's private, and you can use it to make it look like you're in a different country. So you can be sitting here and you can be in China and you can make it look like you're in America so you can access the regular internet, but it makes it secure so the hackers can't get your stuff. So you have to use a VPN. A lot of YouTube channels get VPN sponsorships. I don't have a sponsorship on my channel at all. So I actually reached out to Private Internet Access. Private Internet Access recently got purchased, but they're one of the best VPN providers on the internet. I use them all the time. And I have it installed on my computer. I use it on my regular connection at home sometimes when I'm browsing websites that I don't trust, if I'm reading information that's alternative news sources and I don't know the website I'm visiting, that kind of thing. And I use it all the time on my phone when I connect to anything on the Strip, because you don't know what is in between you and the website you're going to. So when you're in Vegas, always use a VPN. There are free ones out there. You don't have to pay for them. But the paid ones, there are reputable free ones. So NordVPN, they usually have a little bit that you can use for free. If you want to get the full speeds, you usually got to pay. And that's why I pay for mine. I've been paying for it for about 5 years or so. I pay for it every single year. It's a great service to have. They're usually dirt cheap when you do them on a monthly basis. So is it safe in Vegas to use the free Wi-Fi, Jake asks. I would say use a VPN and you're fine. If you don't, then just don't visit a website and enter credentials. And even then, you're probably not safe without a VPN. Oh man, that Mountain Dew is warm. Yuck. Nor doesn't work well with Netflix. Yeah, and if you're on Hulu, you can't use a VPN. These sites are, you can probably do it. I haven't looked into like doing a MacGyver move on it, but a lot of the streaming websites are smart when you use a VPN. When my wife was in the Philippines many, many years ago, she wanted to watch the Super Bowl. It was streaming live on NBC, but not outside of the United States. So I remotely accessed her computer and installed a VPN. It was a free one. I got a free trial for like 3 days, and then she watched the Super Bowl because NBC thought that she was in the United States. They're all better than that now. They usually know when you're using a VPN. Sometimes certain sites you cannot access whatsoever. One of the sites I look at, stats for YouTube, you can't access it. It just gives you a server error. Target, for example, gives you a server error if you try to browse target.com, and that's a whole nother thing altogether. We're not even on Vegas chat anymore, but that's just basically like Target doesn't want you to connect and buy 10 of a thing and then connect with a different IP address because it changes where you are. It makes you look like you're a different person, a different machine. Buy 10 of a thing because that's how they get shortages of products. A couple of years ago, it was hard to buy things online. Like Nintendo made these little game consoles that everybody wanted, and they were sold out the instant they went online because people were automating it and buying hundreds of them and then flipping them on eBay. So the VPN is already on my iPhone. Sorry if stupid question. It's not a stupid question. Usually, Jake, I don't know if iPhone has a VPN built in. It's a third-party service. So I don't know if there's one in the App Store. Let's see if I can type in. I'm almost positive that even the one I use would work. VPN, PIA, Private Internet Access. It probably works. Private Internet Access. With your login information on hand, you can manually configure a VPN client on your iPhone or iPad. Yeah, so you can use it on your iPhone or your iPad if you wanted to. What's a good VPN for phone and laptop? Like I say, I use Private Internet Access because I like it. It updates regularly. They have very fast speeds. I'm hardly ever crippled. Like I say, I have an affiliate account. Maybe I'll do a video on VPNs in Las Vegas because eventually we got to talk about something that isn't coronavirus on this channel. And that might be good. And then I'll give you guys my affiliate link. In the meantime, you guys go buy whatever service you want. So that, you know, you're going to buy it for a year. You won't come back to me. But at least you're safe when you're surfing. And I want to see you guys be safe when you're surfing. So go to the internet. And the internet, you ever heard of that? It's this website called Google. Type in iPhone VPN. You'll see like 5 ads. Use VPN on iPhone, Apple support. There is a support document, a VPN, blah, 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 blah. You may do install a VPN app. So go to your app store, type in VPN, look with one that's reputable, and read the reviews. You don't want to go with, the app store will be good because the app store vets everything really, 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 like really well. And you'll get only good apps. I would not get a sketchy VPN on an Android phone, guys. I probably wouldn't even want to use a free service that wasn't limited on a trial and crippled. The reason why is simple. You don't know who you're sending your data to, so do it with a reputable company. So if I'm in a hotel Wi-Fi, do you suggest not checking my checking balance on my phone? Probably a bad idea, Victor. I mean, most people don't even think about that. And I'm not trying to scaremonger you, but yeah, it's probably not a good idea because if somebody set up next door with the right tools, they could just basically capture every packet you sent if they're on the same network as you. I don't know how secure those sites are, but those Wi-Fis are at the hotels. I'm sure they will tell you that they're secure. Victor asked, wow, Victor, thank you for your generosity. Would you ever consider working public relations for Vegas? In a bleeding heartbeat, I would. But, you know, probably never going to happen. Because I also say that there's certain crappy things about Las Vegas. And they don't want that. You know, guys, I mean, look, anybody can sell their soul out for anything, right? Look what happened with China and the NBA. And you had LeBron James just hacking through some statement he was told to read by his handlers, I'm sure. Meanwhile, there's people in Hong Kong protesting for their freedom and getting tear gassed and beaten and shot. And LeBron James is trying to apologize for this because some people, they just, you put money in front of them and they go, thank you, sir, can I have some more? And they'll say or do anything. I don't want to be one of those people, because if I see something that makes me mad, I'm that jerk who says this is bad. But they don't want that. They want a sycophant, somebody who tells them it's good all the time, somebody who's a yes man. And I just don't think I could be a yes man. If the owner of the VPN logs your data info, the connection is not encrypted. Mr. Hand is 100% correct. I should add that that's why I use the private internet access people, because they have a policy of never logging your data. Your data gets destroyed once it's been once you use it, it's gone. They don't give it to law enforcement agencies. That's not why I use it. But I would hate to think that some company with different privacy laws somewhere else would give my information to somebody else. Mr. Hand is correct. Give Mr. Hand a thank you for being good. Mr. Hand is rocking. Checking in from B-More. I don't know where B-More is, B-Dizzle, but thank you. I remember you from a chat where I said B-Dizzle, and then somebody said I was racist, and then I got all scared. I remember of that. 99% of people don't use a VPN. Mr. Hand is correct. They don't even know what they are. Look at Westgate. It's still a nice property, and their sports book is amazing. They inherited that sports book. The Superbook was amazing because of what the Hilton built, just so you know. And yeah, my opinion on Westgate is probably don't stay at the Westgate. I just don't know. They are a hotel owned by a timeshare company. How's that? You're going to get enticed to do a tour, and it's up to you if you do those tours. But I have a lot of experience in that field. Yes, okay. NBA is disgraceful, Mr. Hand says. VPNs are good to access content restricted by YouTube. That's another thing that you can use, Vegas Mooch says. So YouTube chat, I got 20 minutes left. I'm going an hour and a half after all. I guess some Mountain Dew and I drank some Dole pineapple juice. Woke me up. So if you are on YouTube and you try to see a music video and it said BMG Universal has restricted this in your country, you can always connect your VPN, switch your country to Canada, the United Kingdom, pick something close to you. If you're in the UK, switch it to Germany or something like that that's close to you geographically. The further away on a VPN you go, the crazier it gets. If you search Google and you're connected to a Japanese network on a VPN, your search results are in Japanese. It's really fun. You can't understand anything, but hey, it's still cool to see Japanese Google, I guess. We stayed there right before it was shut down. It was very salesy, but we just said no. The room was updated and clean, Robert said. That is good. Good to know that they're updating those rooms. Baltimore, go Raiders. Thanks for the Allegiant Stadium video, B Dizzle. I want to do another one, but it means I'll have to be out there right about an hour ago. And I want to take my gimbal out there, and I want to do all that kind of stuff. And... man, but it means I'd have to miss one of these live streams. I don't know what to tell you. But if I go out and I film that at night, then I have some really awesome nighttime footage to work with. And that would be good. That would be good. Elbow pumps, not high fives. Yeah, I guess that'll be the norm. Is NBA Finals going to be held in Vegas? I don't imagine so. They said they might do some kind of neutral site playoff bracket, but I imagine they're going to want to share. They're going to want to do the finals in those cities. Those fans would love that. Jake asks if the stadium's finished. Apparently it'll be finished in July. It looks finished from the outside, and the roof has all of the branding on it and stuff like that. So when you fly in, it says Allegiant Stadium on the roof. Is it going to be open this season? It probably will be open this season. It's going to depend on a lot of stuff. It's going to depend on coronavirus. It's going to be depend on... I don't think the Raiders are going to want to play at the stadium if there's no people in it. It would be a bummer. So I think that's what that is. Raiders dumped their quarterback. I don't know. He's a playoffs if you get hurt, so I don't know. Jake asked if it's outdoors. Absolutely not. It's a covered indoor stadium with a translucent-looking roof that is not glass. And if you say it's glass on your YouTube video, you get about 500 Raiders fans correcting you, telling you you're an idiot that doesn't know anything about Las Vegas. I learned that the hard way. That's why when you guys say, are you going to do this topic or that topic? And I'm like, I'm not an expert on that. And I'm not an expert on anything. I just know a lot of little things about stuff. and then I fill in the gaps by researching. But if you don't know enough of the things around it, you shouldn't do the video. That's another tip for you if you're thinking of doing YouTube videos. Don't pick something that you don't know a lot of stuff about, because it's going to come back to backfire on you. People will know that you don't know what you're talking about, even if you try to research it. Robert says the Bills, well, I like the Bills. Bills fans are great. They're nice people. I said this before. I'll say it again. I once had a friend from Buffalo. He says, I'm from Buffalo. He says it's a drinking town with a football problem. And I thought that that was pretty interesting. Pretty funny. Maybe that will change. I don't know. We'll see how it goes with us coming into the future here. All right, guys, so guess what? I'm going to cut this short at 1 hour, 15 minutes. So thank you guys, everybody, for watching. I want to thank all of our viewers who have been super duper awesome and generous in order of first to last. And you guys are all generous for being here and chatting, but these guys here decided to be doing the super chats. Mr. Classic TV 1980, Herbert Daughtry, Okerlund, Brianna Drag Queen Slots, Paul Teitler, Joseph Dibb, Joshua Hooks, Lisa Glasgow, Crispy Dill Pickle, Michael R., Vegas Mooch, Herbert Daughtry, Paul Rotter, DJ Wilson, Busting Out the Beats, Jerry Driver, Crispy Dill Pickle, Jared Green, Gold Money, GHW, Susan VP, Victor Crawl, John Kim, Victor Crawl, and now Steve Miller coming up at the last minute. Thank you so much, Steve Miller. You're awesome. Guys, you're all awesome. You are great. Now's the time of the video where I'm going to say 3, 2, 1 and click out. I'm just going to go spend time cleaning this room and then spend time with the wife. By the way, I'm going to be talking about the face masks, but if you guys want them, they're now 2 for $25. She's going to include a lightweight one that's smaller and a bigger one for when you got to go to the school thing in the fall and you got to go to that thing that you want more protection. They ship out to anywhere in the United States. $24, $25, whatever you want to throw our way. Above and beyond that is just a donation, but she's working hard on them, so you can email me with what's on the screen if you're interested, and I will email you back, and I do answer my emails. It takes me a day or two, but I always get back to you guys. All right, guys, thank you for everybody. Fly, Eagle, fly. Go Bills, go Raiders, go Niners, go Jets, go Titans, go everybody except for the Buccaneers, because Tom Brady didn't want to come to Las Vegas. We love you guys, and we'll talk to you later. That is a crazy Canadian in the channel, not just me. Look at that. Okay, bye, guys. 3, 2, 1, and click.